Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on this gorgeous little coaster that you see right here, simply divine. Get excited guys, because this coaster only took about 9 grams of 8-ply cotton. 8-ply meaning a 3 weight or DK weight cotton. Very, very minimal, 9 grams. You can make a set of 4 and give them as a gift to your family or your friends or whoever. All right. With the 8-ply cotton, by the way, this is 8-ply Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton, DK weight or a 3 weight cotton. So make sure you marry it up with any other cotton that you have in your stash. It doesn't necessarily have to be any particular brand, but just know that if you were to make it in a 10-ply or an Aran weight or a 4 weight, it will come across a little bigger than ours, but that doesn't matter because bigger the better, yeah? Anyway, so we have our 4mm hook that is used with the Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton, so that's 4mm hook. You will also need your scissors and you will need a sewing needle. You'll have 2 ends, one in the beginning and one at the end somewhere, and then you will have, I don't know, around 7 stitch markers. It's just to actually plop into some of the corners. It can get a little tricky knowing where the corners are, especially if you are new to crochet. Quick heads up, the stitches are basic, but the actual pattern itself can be a little bit intermediate. However, if you are new to crochet, I say take the risk, because I give you all these close-ups and do a nice slow step-by-step. I do say head off on your own a lot. You can look back at the time. I pop a time up the top there and it shows you exactly where to go back. All right. It is a basic coaster. I did do that join at the end, which I do not like. I'm going back to my old-fashioned join, by the way. If you are new to our channel and you didn't know this, I've been trying all these new modern joins and I don't like them. I'm going back to having that tiny little knot and weaving it down the back where you can't see it. It's exactly the same as this, except this I can tell that I did that unusual looking join. I can tell. But never mind. Thank you very much for joining us today. The colour combination chosen for today's tutorial was chosen by the lovely Elaine on one of our live antics at 10 a.m. every Saturday mornings, Melbourne, Australia time. Marry that up with your country. One lucky subscriber gets a chance to choose the colour combination of our next tutorial during that live. It's a thing called live antics. I pop a whole lot of yarn on the table and then I ask one subscriber on the live to choose a colour, or 2 colours, or 3 or 4, depending on what we're making. We don't always make small projects. Heads up, you could be the person who chooses the colour combination of a blanket, of a sweater, of a skirt, of whatever it is that we are doing that month. So keep that in mind, yeah? All right, special thank you once again to Elaine. Good luck everyone creating your gorgeous coaster. Alrighty guys, we're going to start off by making a slip knot. Grab the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your finger once and twice, holding it there and holding it down there. We're going to grab that back loop, passing it halfway over your finger, hold it there. Grab the other loop, passing it all the way over your finger, pop your hook in that little loop and give your work a tug. Yeah. And now we're going to chain 4. And a chain is yarn over your hook, pull a loop through, 1, yarn over, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to slip stitch into that very first loop of the stitch that you just made. But when we do this, we're going to make sure we hold everything down in a minute, all right? So just pull your loop through like so, grab that center piece and hold it down. You can see the tail going through there, yeah? You want to keep that center piece open. So just pull that loop through like so and chain 1, yeah? In that space that you made, you pop your hook in, you pull a loop through, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both those loops. That is a single crochet in the US, double in the UK. What I want you to do is grab a stitch marker and just pop it in the top 2 loops of that stitch that you first created. Now this is the trickiest part of our pattern, so keep that in mind, guys. So don't think it's going to be difficult from here on. It's going to be a lot easier. What you need to do is place, if I can move the stitch marker out the way, there we go, is place 12 single crochets in that center. Let's, instead of moving up, bring this up instead. All right, you want to place 12 single crochets in the center. You've already placed one. Let's place another 11. All right, so 2 and going straight into the center, 2 loops on your hook, pull through, and 3, keep going. And what you're doing also is you are crocheting over your tail. That's not the end of that tail. We're going to weave that in as well, yeah? So you go 1, 2, 3, and off you go doing 12 all together. And I'm going to pop this on fast in just a moment. And there's the 4th one. And 12. All right, so whoops, let's just pull that tail down. Like so, just pull the tail right at the back once you get to your 12th stitch. How you count your stitches is you are counting these little V looking things. They look like the letter V right there. So you're going like that. That's like a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3, and so on. All right, now I've already calculated my 12. Make sure you have 12 single crochets across. All right, so the tail's at the back, yes? We are slip stitching into the stitch with our stitch marker. Pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on our hook, all right? So all you needed to do is pop your hook in that space and pull a loop through. From here, we are chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Pop your stitch marker in that 3rd stitch, the top stitch, if you will, the top 2 loops. Then you're going to chain 1 more. All right, from here, we're going to go straight into the very next stitch because you are in this stitch here. You're going to jump right into that stitch there with a double crochet US treble UK. And that's yarn over your hook, skip that little stitch that you are already in, go into your next stitch, which is those 2 loops. So you pop your hook in those 2 loops, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2. That is double crochet US, treble UK. Chain 1. And that's it, guys. Very basic stitch in the round. Off you go into every stitch doing a double crochet US, treble UK, chain 1. Double in the next, treble UK, chain 1. Easy? So easy that I'm going to pop this on fast and you're going to continue until you get to that last, second last or last stitch, yeah? All right, guys, I actually have one more stitch. Now I did want to show you, we're going to count these in a minute, but right here is my next stitch. And that area there is the slip stitch and the chain 3 that we have there. All right. So let's just finish off this stitch and then we'll count them. So you know what you're doing. Yeah. So double in the next, chain 1. And before you slip stitch, just count them. This chain 3 and then a chain 1 there will act as 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Making sure you have a chain 1 in between each stitch or your next round will not work out. So now you're going to slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, which was your chain 3 from before. Yeah. Pull your loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Remove your stitch marker. From here we chain 1, 2 and 3. Once again we're replacing our stitch marker in that top stitch, like so. Yep. Then you chain another 1, and this time you're going to put a double crochet in the same stitch you are in. That's double US treble UK, yarn over your hook, into the same stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Then you're going to chain 1. Now when we do our next stitch, it's going to be a repeat stitch all the way across. So what you're doing initially is skipping that chain space, jumping into the double crochet right next to it. All right, that's right into the stitch. So yarn over your hook, into your stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2, chain 1, and in the same stitch you're doing a double crochet again. So pop your hook in the same stitch, doing your double crochet. US, treble UK, chain 1. That stitch you just did, you're repeating in every stitch across. Remember to skip your chain space. Yarn over your hook, skipping the chain space, jumping into your next stitch with what we call a V-stitch. All right, this is a V-stitch. It's used a lot in patterns. I love the V-stitch. It's actually chain 1, jumping into the next stitch. It's one of my favorite stitches to do on YouTube. You'll see a lot of my patterns have the V-stitch in it. All right, so that's it. You're chaining 1, skipping your chain space, going into your double crochet with your V-stitch of double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. All right, now I'm going to pop this on fast again, and if you want to slow it down, you can slow it down on your end, but I'm going to chain 1 and complete the rest of the round, and off we go. I'm actually on my last set right here, and we're going to count them in a minute as well. So I've done my last V-stitch. Don't forget to chain 1 even on your last set, yeah? Now real quickly, we're going to count our V-stitches. This will classify as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. And you should have a chain 1 space in between each set, and you should have a chain 1 space in every V-stitch. All right, so it should look pretty much like that. When you place it down, it kind of sits flat. If it's out of shape, just check that you haven't done too many chains. If it's pulling, check that you haven't missed any chains, yeah? So we're going to slip stitch. Remember that you chained 1 here, yeah? We're going to slip stitch into the tight stitch. You like that? Into the tight stitch right there. Your stitch marker stitch, that is. Remove your stitch marker and get ready for round 4. Now round 1 was your single crochets, round 2 was your double crochet chain 1, round 3 was your V-stitch, round 4 is your corner round, or your corners round if you will. All right, it's a tricky round. It consists of double crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, and then a corner, and we'll do it nice and slowly, and each set will be exactly the same. From here you're going to slip stitch into this next space. So pop your hook in the space, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Grab your stitch marker and pop it in your top stitch there. Have a funny feeling I've just split it, but I'll deal with that later. Yarn over your hook in the same space. You're doing a double crochet US, treble UK. You know how to do those now, so I'll just say that, yeah? Then chain 2, 1 and 2, and in the same space you're putting 2 double crochets. Just move your little guys over and do your 2 double crochet US, treble UK, all in the same space. All right, and what you have formed right there is actually the first corner. Now here's where it gets a tiny bit tricky, but it's not completely confusing. In the first space you come to, you're putting a double crochet. In the next space you're putting a half double crochet US, half treble UK. Then in the next space you're putting your double, and then you're doing your corner. Just remember, the space before your V-stitch is always a double. So let's do your double crochet in the space before your V-stitch. All right, in the V-stitch you're putting your half double crochet US, half treble UK, yarn over your hook, into the V-stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. In the space before your next V-stitch, you're putting a double crochet. That's double US, treble UK. You know how to do them, all right? The new stitch you have in this round is just your half doubles, and they go in the center of every second V-stitch, okay? Because your next V-stitch, you will be doing a corner. So I'll do the corner first in the very next V-stitch, and then we'll talk about it. And a corner is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, off you go. 1 and 2, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, all in the same corner, or the same V-stitch if you will, yeah? So what you formed was your first corner and straight edge. Now all you're doing is repeating that in the round, all right? So in every second V-stitch you've got a corner, and in every second V-stitch you've got a half double crochet. In between those, you've got doubles. So it sounds confusing, but it actually isn't, all right? So yarn over your hook, the very next space is a double crochet. Well, actually from here, this is going to be your repeat in the round, all right? So yarn over your hook, in the next space is a double crochet. In your next V-stitch is a half double crochet, or half treble UK, yeah? In your next space, double. In your next V, a corner, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 1 and 2, and 2 double crochets, all in the same corner. All right, so look, it may sound difficult, but it isn't. You have now formed 1, 2 and 3 corners, and you've got 2 sides, side panels going, yep. So again, double in your next, half double in your next, double in your next, corner. All right, so super easy really, now that we have worked out exactly the repeat, 1 and 2, and then 2 double crochets. What I'm going to do is pop the rest on fast, and we're going to start that repeat again, and you'll have another 2 repeats. All right, so I'm going to pop this on fast, and this is your first repeat, and off we go. Half double in your very next V-stitch, or half treble UK, and then when you get to that very next corner, you still have this space here, and you need to put a double crochet in that space, like so. All right, just check your round, make sure you've got your corner and then your side, corner, side, corner, side, corner, side, so on, and you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners, and of course you need the sides as well to match, yeah? So let's continue. From here, you're going to slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook, remove your stitch marker, chain 1. So we are now officially on round 5. Round 5 is going to be a little different. You're going to have single crochets and half doubles, and you will need a handful of stitch markers, and we'll work them out as we go along. All right, we're going to start with a single crochet, and you've done them before in your first round, popping your hook in the same stitch you are in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops, pop your stitch marker in actually, you know what I'll do? I'll pop the blue one in here. That reminds you that that's your first stitch in the round, all right? Can be a little tricky when doing single crochets. Single in your very next stitch, so you have 2 single crochets on this side. In the corner, you're doing 3 single crochets, but you are putting your stitch marker in your second one. So you go 1, 2, and pop your stitch marker in that second one. And you put your third one in the same space. So you have your 3 single crochets, but you've got a stitch marker in your second one. That's to show you that that's the center, or that's actual corner stitch, all right? Now to do the rest of this side, we're going to pull our work over so we can find that very first stitch right there. You can see it right there. You pop your hook in and you do a single crochet in the first one, single in your next one, and single in your next one. All right, so you've got single 1, 2, and 3, and in the very next stitch you are doing a half double. Yarn over your hook, into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, single in your next 1, and your next 2, and your next 3. All right, so all you needed to remember was you're doing 3 single crochets, 1 half double, and 3 single crochets. And then you're also doing your single crochets in your corner, which is 1, 2, stop and place your stitch marker, and 3. And then once again you move these little guys over so you can find your very first stitch there, and you go single 1, next single 2, next single 3, next half double, and then in the next 3 singles, 1, 2, and 3, corner. All right, single 1, single 2. If I look like I'm rushing, it's because I am, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and single 3. All right, this is your job all the way through. You're going to do your 3 singles across, 1 half, 3 singles, and then 3 in the corner. Make sure you pop your stitch marker in your second one, and that's your pattern in the round. 3, 1, 3, 3 in the corner, stitch marker in the second, 3, 1, 3, 3 in the corner, stitch marker in your second. Do that all the way until you get to your very final corner. Complete your corner and wait for me there. All right, so continue in that pattern all the way across, get to that very last corner right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at this end of this side. Now I asked you to get into your corner. Let's get a bit of a close up here. Alright, so get into the corner, complete the corner for me, and move your guy over like normal, and you're doing your 1, 2, and 3, half double in your next stitch like normal. And then you only have 1 single crochet left, because that's 1, 2, and 3 before your corner. All right, so just do 1 more single crochet and slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker. Don't chain 1, just slip stitch for now, because we're going to slip stitch over 1 more. So slip stitch into your next one, chain 1, and do a half double crochet right there. So yarn over your hook, half double crochet, placing that stitch marker in the top of that stitch. I'm going to take these off the board to stop the noise. Chain 1 and you're going to skip the next stitch and do a half double crochet in the stitch marker. Stitch, in you go, like that. Remove your stitch marker, chain one only, and do one more half double crochet in the same space. And that is your corner. What I want you to do is place the stitch marker in that corner, not in the stitch, but in the corner. All right. And then you're chaining one, skipping that one and going into the next stitch with your half double crochet once, chain one, skip that stitch, go into the next one, two with your half double, chain one, it's all half doubles in this round, skip one, go into the next, three with a half double, chain one, skip one, go into the next, four with a half double, chain one, skip one and go into the corner with your corner of half double, chain one and half double. Remove your stitch marker or replace it in that corner. Actually, it's better that you replace it in the corner, especially if you are new to crochet. You don't want to miss that corner in the next round. Chain one, skip one, jump into the next with your half, one, chain one, skip, two, chain one, skip, three, chain one, skip, four, chain one, skip and corner. All right, so that's pretty much the pattern all the way across. Half double, chain one, half double, all in the same corner. Remove your stitch marker and pop it in the corner there so that you can remind you for your next round. All right, so that's pretty much it. I will leave a little timer up there and it'll show you exactly what to do from there to there. You need to do it from there to there, there to there, there to there. And when you get to the pink stitch marker right here, your final corner, meet me there and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Go to that time now and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, I asked you to get to your corner and you should have all your half double crochet chain ones everywhere, yeah? Now in the corner here, make sure you've completed your corner, yeah, and then chain one to get out of your corner. And once again, you are skipping one half double in your next one, chain one, half, skip one, half in the next two, chain one, skip one, half in the next three, chain one, skip one, look, that's the one that we slip stitched into earlier, and the fourth one is the one with your stitch marker. So all you're doing is slip stitching into the stitch with your stitch marker like so, chain one, that was round 6, and now we're doing round 7, which is our final round. All right, single crochet in the same stitch you are in, remove your stitch marker and just replace it back in that stitch. You'll need it for the end of the round because single crochets can sometimes be very hard to see, yeah? All right, from here, all you're doing is single crochet in the space. Just move your little stitch over and single in the actual stitch there, yep? In that corner, you're doing 3 single crochets. 1, 2, whoops, 2 and 3. Remove your stitch marker. Then you're going to hop straight into that space. So just omitting everything here, jump into the space with a single crochet, but move your guy over and do a single crochet in the top of the stitch. Now if you find this all very tight, moving it right over there, if you find it all very tight, just put 2 single crochets in the space. If it's all too much, just pop your 2 single crochets in there, and this is really close, isn't it? I'm sorry guys. So you can do that, 2 singles in each space if you want. I like it the other way where you're doing a single in the space and a single in the stitch, because it just makes it look better. That's again my opinion. Yeah, single in the space. Whoops, I haven't been counting. There's your 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Did I just do 4? Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 in the stitch. All right, you need to do 10 single crochets across and 3 in each corner. And that, my dears, is pretty much it. Remove your corner stitch marker. Single, 1, 2 and 3 in that corner. Single in the space, 1, single in the stitch, 2, single in your space, 3, single in your stitch, 4, space, 5, stitch, 6, space, 7, notice how I move it over so I can find the stitch, 8, space, 9, and definitely in the corner you need to move it over, stitch, 10. And then you're hopping into your corner with your 3 single crochets. It's a super easy final round. Off you go. 1, 2 and 3. And I don't think I need to show you any more. I think you know what you're doing. 10 single crochets across, 3 in the corner, 10 across, 3 in the corner. And again, if you don't want to go into the stitch, just put 2 stitches in each space. I find it does look a lot neater this way, and it stops it waving if you do it like this. All right, 10 across, 3 in the corner, all the way across, get to the very last stitch. Well, we'll say the last corner, the pink one right there. Meet me there and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this final corner. I asked you to get to the little pink stitch marker corner, completed. And now we're going to go across again. So in that space, like normal, 1 and 1 in the stitch, 2. Tighten mine up because they get a bit loose around here. 3, 1 in the stitch, 4, 5, 1 in the stitch, 6, 7, and then your 8th one is there, so it's 8. So it's 8, 9 and 10, and then you had your corner stitches. All right, so I hope that made sense. Now, this is where it can get a little tricky. This is a final round, and we want to cast off and make a knot and everything else. Now, I've shown everyone how to do this in previous tutorials, but I'm going to show you again. This stitch marker has actually split the stitch anyway, so I'm going to take it undone and just replace it. I don't want to skip that stitch. I think we have to skip that stitch anyway to do this job. In fact, yes, we will. But anyway, we'll leave it there for now. So what you're going to do here is undo that last stitch. I should have asked you to do this before, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. Don't you love that? She wasn't sure. Start your single crochet, pull your loop through like so. And what you have is the 2 loops. When you pull the loop through like that, you cut it. Grabbing your scissors and cutting it. So pulling it out very loosely. Don't pull too tight. We're going to do this special join again. This is the join I dislike doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. I really, really dislike doing it. Lots of people like it. I don't. All right, but if you are new to crochet, my suggestion would be to just pull your loop through, chain 1 and then cut. And then you can weave it in through the back. But for those who are a little bit more advanced, all you have to do is skip that first. This is a new version of it, by the way. It's not a new version, it's another version of the join. So you're skipping that stitch completely. You're going into the second stitch right there. All right, now before you pull that through, just remove your stitch marker for a minute. It's just annoying when we do this part. So you pull it through your back loop like so. Yeah, just give it a gentle tug. Yeah, then a bit more. That didn't work. Then you're going to bring your needle back, going down the back of that stitch and down the back of the thread right there. All right, now this is the second version of this stitch. Now I've seen it done many ways. This is another way. So you're pulling that loop down there like so, and it'll close up. And what it'll do, don't pull too tight, it'll look like you've completed the stitch. Personally, I don't like it either, but still, I wanted to show you this. All right, so that's one way of doing it. Again, it's not the way I like the old way, but okay, you know, sometimes it pays to do something different and see how you go. All right, so from here, we are going to grab our needle and just weave it in through some stitches of that single crochet round. Just being wary that you can't see the needle from the front, yeah? And just weave it through like so. Pulling it through like that. Now being careful not to pull too tight or that little stitch that you did there is going to come across very tight. Personally, I just pulled it too tight, can you believe it? Personally, I don't like it. Okay, this is just me telling you that you can do this join, but you don't have to like it. Like me, I don't like it. In the next tutorial, I'll be going back to my own join. By the way, I'm actually, without telling you what I'm doing here, I'm skipping that little first stitch, going into the next stitch and weaving through in a different area as well. All right, just so I can reinforce that thread. Cut your thread like so. Well, that was a bit loud, sorry guys. Turn it around and you don't have a knot and you don't have any seams sticking out. Personally, once again, I don't like it. But that, again, that's me. Right. In the very next tutorial, I'll go back to making my knots and then turning down and putting it through the back like I've been doing all these years. All right. So let's just spin it around a few times and I reckon I'll be able to tell where that knot is right there. All right. That's probably because I did it a bit loose. I loosened it up a little, but to me, I don't like that join and I don't think I'll do it again. Thank you very much for joining us in creating our beautiful coaster. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do all the wonderful things that you guys, well, pretty much already do for me. And a very special thank you to the lovely Elaine for her colour combination in today's tutorial. If you would like to be a part of Wild Crochet Designs and choose the colour combination of our very next tutorial, join us on our lives at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time. Marry that up with your country. We do a thing called Live Antics and one lucky subscriber on that live gets to choose the colour combination of our very next tutorial. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mary. This is Wild Crochet Designs and ciao for now.